Hello and welcome back to my channel, and thanks for rejoining me with my Shattered Isle solo campaign. We're going to commence the actual process of with the campaign itself, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to do some character generation. So I've called this session 1 the first carving, and this is where your name is set, your role is chosen, and your fate begins. So this, for the characters, this is the start of their legend, like the first strike of a chisel into stone. So this, hence the title, the first carving. And we can wheel out our old favourite, our old friend Brennan McDonald, chronicler of the Western Gale, and he can begin the tale. And he will make sure that we are sitting comfortably. He says, "Come closer to the fire, traveller, and heed my words. For in this age of storm and shadow, the deeds of the bold are all that stand against the hunger of the dark. In the Shattered Isle, every soul is bound to the land, to the hills crowned with standing stones, to the black seas that gnaw at the cliffs, to the wind that whispers the names of the dead. You are no stranger here. You have a name, given by your kin, carried by your clan, and one day perhaps etched into the stones for all to remember. You will take your place among the folks of the Isle. Warrior, hunter, bard, mystic, your path will be shaped by skill, by birth, and by the will of the spirits. Some among you may carry the old gifts, a touch of second sight, the ear of the beasts, the whisper of the tide. Others will wield blade or bow, the tools of the smith or the cunning of the hearth. Before you set foot upon the road, we will know who you are. We will speak your name. We will see your face in the flicker of the fire. We will learn the strength of your arm, the sharpness of your mind, and the weight of your spirit. We will know your place among your people, and the gear you bear into the unknown. For here in the Shattered Isle, the tale begins not with the kingdoms or kings, but with a handful of souls ready to stake their fate upon the stones and the sea. The road awaits you. Will you walk it?" So with that introduction from Brennan, we are going to create our characters. Whoever we have, we're going to begin with 3 adventurers. Whoever these 3 adventurers are, they are quite inspired by this initial speech. They are ready to find out about themselves and for us to find out about them. And so, as I say, character creation, we're going to begin by creating 3 adventurers, and they are known as, in Pictish, in speech, I'm going to call them, they can be called either wanderers or seekers. So if they are known as wanderers or one who goes on a journey, it is Cu Aratach, or that's like a bit of like a loch in Scottish, so Cuartach. Or if they are a seeker or a quester, they are known as a She Raher. So it's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. Maybe it'll take a while for me to get around. Maybe just call them adventurers for the time being, but they could be known as, that could be like a sort of a name that's put in front of them for their name. So hey, we get the treat. We get old Brennan coming back for a second turn, and he says, "In these lands the spear knows no master, but the one who holds it firm. Men and women alike take the road, for the Isle calls to all who have the will to answer. Judge them not by their shape, but by the steel in their hand and the fire in their heart." So that interesting little introduction from Brennan means that what we're going to do first is select the sex of the characters. And I have a choice. I have either 2 females and 1 male, or vice versa. So we're going to do the first die roll of the campaign, and we are going to define what is the sexual makeup of our party. So it's either going to be 2 females and 1 male, or vice versa. So 1 to 3. So we're going to have two females and 1 male. So I have created for this campaign a master sheet which has got 3 spaces for 3 characters, and it's got these items down. All will be explained as we go through and fill this out, but just let me be your guide. Let Brennan do the talking and take you through this process. So we're going to have a female, we're going to have a second female, and we are going to have a male. So that's our first role of the campaign. We're going to have a party of, and what he really means by this is that women in Pictish society were likely to have been more visible in leadership, inheritance, and possibly even combat than in many contemporary cultures. And for my Shattered Isles setting, I'm saying we can comfortably portray female adventurers as respected, feared, or honoured in exactly the same way as male ones, depending on their deeds. So it's a bit of equality here, and maybe not. There was actually a matriarchal tradition in Pictish society, where the hierarchy, where the kings, where it came from the maternal line, but that's still being kind of contested, I suppose, by historians and archaeologists. But it does seem to be a bit more egalitarian from the point of view that it's a bit more liberating for females, and they have a higher status. A bit like in Anglo-Saxon society, there were quite a lot of, they could have very powerful females too. So I'm just ramping this up for a fantasy type effect. So I don't see any problem having that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to move on and find out these individuals' names. And we're going to select from a Pictish name list using 1d10. And we get told, Brennan is going to be coming in at certain points. Yeah, you can probably see where Brennan is coming because I've got it all in blue. But he says, "A name is more than a sound, more than a mark upon the tongue. It is a stone in the wall of your people, a thread in the weave of the isle. Speak it, and you call forth your ancestors. Carry it, and the isle will remember you when your bones are dust." Wow. That really kind of quite inspiring stuff from Brennan. But let's find out. We've got this table here for our first name. And we've got male names and we've got female names. So we're going to have to select 2 female names and 1 male name. So we get our D10 out. We get the D10 of the Shattered Isle. Get that primed and ready. And I'm really hoping that I can keep this to 30 minutes, but if it goes beyond, we might have to divide it into 2, or maybe I just carry on. I'll see how far I can get through this process, and how far we are diverted by Brennan and his tales, or I go into my little anecdote phase. Let's see how we get on. But let's find out the first name of our first female. We have a 5, and that is Kayla. Spelt in Pictish format. So we have Kayla as our first. So I have to just write that in. Kayla. It's spelled like Kale Leech, but it's pronounced Kayla. She is, we're going to do her surname just on the back of this, and we'll do our next female. This is called Nech. So we have Nech. And we have a male that we're going to do. And we have 6, and that is at Gartnate. Gartnate. So these are all Pictish names that I've selected from. Quite interesting names. You won't see them in a fantasy list too often, so maybe it's quite a unique thing for you just now. We're going to roll the surname style, and we roll the d6 for that. So let's do it for Kayla. And Kayla is going to have patronymic, and it's going to be father's name, and it's Mac for son of, and Ingen. So if I just do the rest of this, it will become clearer. We've got patronymic, Mac plus father's name, or matronymic, which is Ingen plus mother's name, or it could be Mac plus mother's name, just use the mother's name, or an epithet, which is descriptive or a place-based style. And I've got my little epithets here that we can use. They're probably a bit rarer, but it's probably going to be more based on patronymic or so she's going to be Ingen something. So let's find out what she is. Ingen 3, Ingen Drost. So Kayla Ingen Drost, which in Pictish says Kayla, daughter of Drust or Drust. Let's have Necht, and we'll find out what Necht's naming convention is for her. And again, she is patronymic, so we'll have to take the male name. Oh, actually, I should have been rolling on my parents. I've got my parents' name here. And in fact, what I'm not going to use the parents' name because that is actually, it's a bit mixed up between a male and female. I've still got to do a bit of work on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to what I was doing, which was she is Ingen, daughter of Talok. So she's Ingen Talok. Okay, that sounds quite grand. And then we'll have Gartnett and see whether he bucks the trend and has an epithet. Oh, he does. He's going to have an epithet. So he is already known as something. So we get a D12 for this. We get the D12 of the campaign out. Let's see what Gartnett is. So Gartnett gets a 3. And he is the Spear Hand. Gartnett, the Spear Hand. Wow. So we could have had like Stonebrow, Wolfskin, the Red, the Sea Strider, the Ashen Haired. Whoa, sounds all very atmospheric. So we've done the names, we've done the sex. What we do next is we move on to roles. And the role, this sums up what the characters do and describes the core skill base with which they are competent in. So really this kind of defines really what the character is. And we get Brennan coming in. He says, your role is the craft you carry into the world, the gift of your clan, the skill the eye will test, and the mark by which others will know your worth. So we have a table that we are going to use, and it is a D12 table, and we roll a D12 for each. And probably the best way to illustrate that is by just actually doing that, and I will show you the result. So for our first female character, we're going to roll a D12, and it's going to be a 9. So she is, drum roll, she is a herb healer, using wild plants and lore. Can identify useful or dangerous plants wherever they travel. So she is a healer. So I'll put herb healer. She has healing skills or latent healing skills. So that is our first roll that we've rolled for. Our next one, what is Nech going to be? That's gone completely off. I've got another healer. So let's go for someone different. We won't have the same. This D12 is mental. I'm going to have to get my die roller for this because my D12 is going crazy. Keep it to, yeah, we get a 12. So she is an oath-bound spearman, fights with discipline, skill, and loyalty to their chieftain. So she is an oath-bound spearman. Okay, so nothing really you're going to knock your socks off yet. And let's see what the Spear Hand, Gartnett the Spear Hand is. It'll be interesting to find out why he's called the Spear Hand. He is a 2 in our little list. And 2 is a Sea Raider. Sea Raider, fierce warrior of the coasts and isles, instinctively knows tides, weather shifts, and good landing spots. Right. Now we're in business. This is getting very fantasy now. Sea Raider. Gartnett the Spear Hand. Yes. I can see him with the power of his ship doing all this stuff. Okay, so they are the roles. And just to give you a bit of flavour of the roles that we're talking about, I could have had a Hill Hunter, skilled in tracking and hunting across glens and moors. I could have had a stone circle guardian, a keeper of ancient sacred places, can sense when a place has strong or troubled spiritual energy. That's probably equivalent to our druid types. Wolfskin warrior, channels the wild fury of the wolf in battle, a bit kind of a berserker type. A spirit talker, one who listens to the whispers of the unseen, can commune with spirits or interpret omens in the landscape. Again, a kind of druidic type mystic. I've got metal worker, which is the maker of blades, tools and ornaments, and they're good at judging the quality and history of any work metal at a glance. An isle fisher, a master of nets, hooks and small boats, known hidden coves, fishing grounds and safe passages at sea. Clan champion, the defender of their people's honor. Others recognize them instantly. So this is probably one of the most powerful ones. And in my next episode, what I'm going to do is link some of these to social class and say there is a bit of distinction. Most of them coming from a kind of general class that allows, they're free class, but there's not any particular distinction, but probably the clan champion is a bit higher up. A herb healer that we've already come across, the bard of the halls. He can sway morale with a song or story, inspire courage in allies, or stir doubt in foes. A trader of the isles, knows the value of goods and can find markets or barter opportunities. And then we have our oathbound spearman. So that's us chosen our roles. We move on to the next section, which is we look at trait. And I have decided to go for one personality, hook or floor. So we'll just roll that for each of these characters and we get a d20 for that. And hopefully my d20 is behaving itself and it doesn't need the... So a 2 for Kayla. And Kayla gets a positive leaning trait of loyal. So that's good. She is loyal. And what I'll do, again, in my next episode, I'll go into some of the values that the Picts thought were priority in their culture, and I'll build that in as a motivation into each of our characters. And 17 for Necht, and she is ambitious. So maybe that explains why she seems like a common spearman, but she's actually wanting to improve herself. She's ambitious. She wants taste of the action. And then we have our Sea Raider, and he's probably you'd expect him to have something negative, and he has. Defiant. Is that negative? I don't know, it can be. Defiant. He is defiant. So yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff for the adventure. We're going to move on next to what we call distinctive appearance. And I have a table where we select up to 3 of these and reject any that are not applicable or don't apply. And of course, we've got Brennan to give us a little bit of an anecdote. Just at the start, he says, the isle shapes every face and frame. Wind carves the brow, the rain darkens the hair, and the blood of your kin sets the eyes. No two look the same, yet all bear the mark of this land. Yes, you're absolutely right, Brennan. How many are we going to get for each character? So we'll roll a little d6 and divide by 2. So let's see. In fact, I think we actually do 3 and we reject any that are not applicable. So let's just scrap that idea and I will get my table. And this is all the things. I've got 20 items that we can... they're not all physical appearance. They're things like clothing that we wear. And it's the idea of this is just to give a bit of atmosphere and colour. So let's do our first one. We can get a 19. Hair streaked with lime to stand upright in battle. That sounds... does that sound... I would say that that's probably not. She's a herb healer. She's not really into that kind of battle look. So let's just reject that. So that shows you I can use a bit of discretion. That would have been very good for this, for Necht and Gartnet. But let's use another one. So we get 19 again. So we're not going to get the streaky hair. We're going to get a 9 instead. Bare-chested in battle, painted with clan symbols. Well, okay, steady on. I think maybe painted with. We'll put painted with clan symbols. Yeah, that sounds a bit more. Maybe let's just tone down the bare-chested, painted with clan symbols. Now, the Picts were known for just basically, you know, doing all the woad stuff, you know, the blue and the tattoos, and, you know, kind of basically not wearing too much armor and going for the kind of naked look. Maybe we just tone this down in this particular, and just say that she's more painted with symbols. So we get another chance for another one. Let's see what we get. We get a 10. Leather belt hung with pouches, tools, or charms. Well, that sounds right, because she's probably got a leather belt with, it's almost like with little packets in it, charms. And okay. So as you see, it's not always just physical appearance. It can be what they're carrying and wearing, and it's a distinctive thing. So maybe like a red cloak or something, you know, that type of thing. So let's go on to Necht and see what she's got. So we'll do an 18. Face daubed in ash or ochre for ritual. Oathbound Spearman, I would say that would have been more maybe something like a mystic. So I would say, well, maybe there is that she likes maybe when she goes into battle, she daubs ash. Ochre on her face, ochre. So that's her thing. That's what she does when she goes. If she knows she's coming up to a conflict, she puts on some sort of form of battle paint. Let's do something else and see if that's applicable. 7, scar across cheek or over one eye. So yeah, I think that's probably, she's probably been involved in a few nicks. So let's do, should we do 1 to 3 is the cheek, it's over the eye. So scar, over eye. And what this worksheet does is, it's not the final character thing I'm going to do. It's like some of my other campaigns. I do have these worksheets where I gather information and then I convert them into something a bit more presentable. So let's do our final one, and we have an 18. Face, we've had that, daubed with ash. One final one, 8. Neck torque of twisted bronze or silver. So yeah, we'll do 1 to 4 is bronze. It is. So she has a neck torque. So that's quite distinctive. And that is bronze. So if she gets really into combat, she's got our ochre face, she's got the neck torque on, the scar over the eye, a very intimidating individual. And she's ambitious, she wants glory. So we better watch out for Necht, Ingen, Talorc. Let's move on to our Sea Raider. It's not going to be your typical, it's going to be a bit more maybe like your Viking type, although that we're not really Viking. The Picts did a lot of sea raiding, so you know they are quite a maritime culture too. It's not just the land type stuff. So let's find out what he's all about. So 4, weathered skin from years at sea or in the hills. Yes, that sounds absolutely right. So he's got really leathery, weathered skin. He looks very, you know, all the marks and stains of being out on a boat, over, you know, in all the elements. That's absolutely on T. 19, hair streaked with lime to stand upright in battle. I think we can get the lime. So we've got hair, lime, upright. It's a bit like a kind of early medieval punk rocker. He's got that sticky up hair, the weathered skin. My goodness, what a sight! And what else have we got? We have got 4, and that is weathered skin. We've done the weathered skin. He's got really, maybe he's really wanting more really layers of the weathered skin. 17. Wide leather arm guards etched with animal designs. Right, okay. So we've got the arm guards, leather, animal design. So he really looks the business. So we've got clan symbols on Kayla. She's got her leather belt with charms. We've got the daubed ochre on the face of Necht when she goes into combat. Scar of the eye is quite distinctive, and this neck torque, so she is quite a sight to see. And then we've got Garnet, who's got, he has the spear hand. Why is he called that? The weathered skin, the hair upright, the arm guards. Yep, very atmospheric, very Pictish. So what we do next is we move on to just a few of the mechanics that I've got that are built in. And what I'm saying is the system itself is minimalist, so we're going to keep it to 3 core stats, which are flexible enough for really for anything. And we're going to roll 1d10 for each and add 2 for the attribute appropriate to the role. So we have 3 statistics attributes we're talking about. We have might, cunning, and spirit. And might covers physical power, endurance, skill in melee combat, and the ability to carry or break things. Cunning is wits, perception, guile, and the ability to solve problems or deceive. Spirit is willpower, resilience to fear, connection to the mystical, and ability to inspire others. So I would say on these 3 we have 2 martial. Maybe there's a cunning on the spear hand. And maybe do a 50-50 on that. So I would say mystical for our healer. Martial is going to be might for next. And probably might for Gardnet, although it could be cunning. I might do a roll on that. What I plan to do is maybe just a little subtable just to give some clarity about the ones that are rather, kind of fine line. And again, if I get very low rolls, I don't really care, because what I'm going to do is just make all these characters work, and I'll say maybe they have some flaws. Maybe if they have, say, low might, maybe they've suffered a grievous injury and they can try to recover that through maybe healing magic that they're looking for. Maybe that's a motivation if they are weak. So we're going to get our D10 out for this and start doing some rolling. So might for Kayla, she is going to be a 5. And a 5 means that she is average strength and stamina. Her cunning will be a 1d10. She is 10, so she is off the chart. So she is a brilliant tactician or mastery of trickery. So that is a real nice one for Kayla. So she's probably going to be really in there when it comes to an intellectual problem or whatever. And a 9, and she goes, she was going to get a +2 for that. So she goes up to 10. So again, she for spirit. Spirit means aura of unbreakable resolve or deep magic. Now I'm saying that spirit can be harnessed by the individual in the pursuit of an appropriate path, either following a martial or magical route. So spirit can be, basically on your charisma and your leadership and whatever. Or if you go down to the mystical route, it's your magical ability. So she is already a great start. Your might's not that important, but cunning and spirit, she's right up there. Okay, so let's see if we can get on equally well with Necht. And Necht is going to get +2 on this because she is martial. So she will get a 6. And a 6 on that again is average strength and stamina. It's almost into powerful build, tireless in battle, but not quite. Cunning, let's see if she can get a good cunning. 7, that's okay. So we're doing pretty well. Sharp-eyed and resourceful for next. And final spirit, 7 again, which is unshakable in belief or courage. So that is very good. So a good all-rounder from Necht. Gardnet, I'm going to say it's going to be a 1 to 4, it's might, and a 5 to 6, it is cunning. So let's find out what he is for his +2. So it is going to be might, and what we're going to do is add 2 to the might. Oh, that's very low. So 1, that's going to be 3. So 3 is, well, maybe he has had something happen to him, or he started off slight build, tires quickly. That's what that means. So maybe he is suffering from some sort of, I don't know, some childhood disease or something, or maybe he suffered gravely in his early life, and he is trying to compensate, and he's looking for a way. So already we've got a bit of a challenge there. Cunning, maybe we should. Good job we got the +2 on might. Cunning, 1. Maybe this is one of the ones. Cunning is a 1, is gullible, misses obvious signs. So surely Gartner must have some redeeming quality. So this might be quite fun, actually, having someone that is almost like a liability in the party. And an 8, so he's unshakable belief in or courage. So maybe he's driven by self-belief that's going to compensate for these obvious um, deficiencies in his other attributes. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so we're not going to dwell on that for too much longer. And I can see that we've actually come to the point where we are probably about halfway through. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop this episode just now. Hopefully tantalize you with the prospect of carrying on with another one and shoot one straight on the back of it, and we'll complete our character generation process just on the back. Okay, so yeah, so if you join me straight on the back of this, I'll see you next time.